Hi, Jen.
Hello, Nikki. It's good to see you again.
Oh, good to see you. Oh
We're
my
back.
goodness, we're back. We Jen and I were talking because it bothered us that last time when we were talking to you guys and Jen had asked me to talk about the few things that are the few ways that toxic people punish us.
Yeah,
And there,
some of their playbook.
yeah, a
They're
playbook.
giving us some of their playbook. Yeah,
You know what? That playbook is actually ingrained in the disorder.
yeah,
And some people don't understand how that works. But that's the way that the psychological community, the psychology and the psychiatrists, they explain it as being it's ingrained in them.
yeah.
You and I know it to be something else, which I think that we should save. We'll talk
For
about
another
it.
topic.
We'll
Yes.
talk about it. We're definitely come back to it either in this video or another one.
Yeah.
But
Depends on how long this one goes.
depending, exactly. Because we love our people. We don't want
Yeah,
this one to go too long.
yeah,
Um, it, but it's these things are ingrained in them. They just know. So what I mean by that is they just know to do it.
right.
You and so Jen was like, Nikki, would you mind talking about it? You're good at explaining them. And there were three. It was getting late
Three.
that night, and we could well
We
late
couldn't
for us.
remember.
Yes,
Yeah.
we
So,
couldn't remember the third one.
right.
And
We
then
know now it's
later,
stonewalling.
yes, yes, it came back to us later. Thank you,
Yes.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Stonewalling is, I can't
Stonewalling.
believe that we forgot that
Forgot.
one.
I know.
It is huge. It's used by toxic people. And and like I was just talking to you a minute ago, codependents use it too.
They
I
do.
mean, even if you're not necessarily toxic, stonewalling is something that humans use to manipulate other humans because
Yeah.
we're needing something filled inside of us,
Right.
even if you don't know you're doing it. So, what is stonewalling?
Can I stop you for just one
Yes,
second? Can you explain codependent? Because I think that's another misunderstood word. Just a very brief summary of it.
a very brief summary. This is my own summary. Okay, so
Okay.
this is not technical out of the
Oh
dictionary
yeah.
or
None
anything.
of these are technical
True.
terms.
We should disclaimer. We should give a disclaimer,
Disclaimer.
but
We are not psychiatrists.
we are
We're
not
not,
psychiatrists. We're not doctors.
no,
We
we're
don't
not
have a
diagnosing anyone.
certificate of anything. I mean, I got a
Right.
health license.
Technical difficulties again. Here we go.
Technical difficulties.
The enemy does not want us to say this.
Yeah, yeah.
So codependency.
Codependency. And like I was saying in the other video, codependency is this is like I was saying in the other video, this is my own um definition. This is my
Mhm.
how I would describe codependency is using another person for your emotional support and therefore being addicted to other humans.
Yeah.
I know they explain it all different ways and the reason that it starts and everything, but the fact of the matter is when you feel yourself, either you're on a high or you're really, really low because of another person.
Yeah.
Let's just use me and Jen for an example. If Jen and I, for some reason, we fell into a routine of talking every day at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I realized that I start getting really excited if we're going to talk at 8 o'clock in the morning. And I am like, oh, I'm going to talk to Jen. I'm going to talk to Jen today, and everything's great. And we do this every day, and it's all great. And then one day, um, but I don't. But I want to take the safety factor out of it. Of course, if one day she just didn't show up at 8, let's say that there's nothing scary about it. She texts me and she's like, I'm not gonna be able to talk today.
Yeah.
And I realize that and I get like super sad, and maybe I can't even hardly function because I'm so distraught about the fact that I couldn't talk to Jen today like I always do.
Right.
And I get like,
It kind of ruins your day.
it
And
ruins my day.
you become hyper focused on why.
Why?
Why couldn't she? I'm not important enough.
Is she
Or
mad at me?
yeah,
Did she find another friend?
right. Am I being replaced?
Am I
So
being
many.
replaced?
Right.
So
Those
many
thoughts just
things.
come flying in like daggers.
Okay, and let's continue this example. So I think, so I start going just down this rabbit hole of why isn't Jen talking to me, and ruining my day, letting it ruin my day.
Mhm.
And but I always talk to Jen at 8 and I tell her what I had for breakfast. What am I supposed to do now if I don't have anybody to tell what I had for breakfast? What am I supposed to do? Or I was going to tell her everything that I was going to do today, and it
Right.
always makes me feel better because she gives input on what I'm going to do. So it ruins my day, okay? And I'm just like spiraling. And then I decide that is not right that she did that to me. I needed her today, and she wasn't there.
Mhm.
And I had things that I was going to tell her, and she just, for whatever reason, wasn't there.
Yeah. Mhm.
I'm I'm gonna when she texts me next, I'm not gonna text her back for 15 hours. That'll show her
Uh-huh.
that if you're not gonna be there for me when
I'm
I
not going to
want
be there.
you,
I'm not going to be there for you.
that is stonewalling.
Yeah.
So so the number three thing that we were going to talk about in the other video is stonewalling, where it can look all different ways. It doesn't have to be just over
Right.
text where you're not responding to a person. It can also be where you try to talk to them and they're like, mm, you know,
Disinterested.
yeah,
Yeah,
disinterested,
disinterested.
completely ignoring you.
That's a big one.
Yeah. I know that in my marriage, it was just a straight face. There was no way that I could get that man to laugh. I
Yeah.
mean, I could have tickled him and he would have gotten mad.
Yeah.
And and it's what nothing had happened. I
Right.
understand that if I just, you know,
Right.
ran over your dog or something on purpose, but
It's a
and we're
form of punishment.
exactly nothing had happened.
Yeah. It's a psychological form of punishment.
Yes. So,
Life.
yep.
This just goes
So
to show we're normal people.
we're normal people with sons that come and go during our video.
Yeah. Who knows? It's all good.
Yes. Okay. So I'm stonewalling. The reason I'm stonewalling Jen is because she did not meet my emotional need, which was
At
a
the moment.
need at that moment.
At that moment. Because it's moment by moment with them.
Oh, totally.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that's what stonewalling is and it can be ignoring you, it can be talking mean to you, it can be not speaking to you. It got to the point in my marriage where I knew that like it was a cycle and I could see it coming,
Yeah.
and things would be fine. And then there would just be this day that for whatever reason, he woke up,
Yeah.
and if I said, I like that shirt, he could find a way to take that wrong
Mhm.
and not speak to me for 2 weeks. And I would
Right.
think to myself, well, see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Because it's going to be a 2 week silent period.
Exactly.
If you pay attention, you will learn their cycle.
Yep. And I think we talked last time about how that is the difference between just being in a relationship and there are bad times of a relationship. And last time we
Right.
said the difference is it's a cycle. You start
Yeah.
to notice that it just, this happens whether you've done something wrong or
Or
not.
not.
You're
Right.
going to
In a
pay
normal,
consequences.
right. In the normal relationship, someone is going to do something to offset it. But this can
Exactly.
be the sun came up.
Yeah. Wrong.
Yeah. The whole world is wrong and you're wrong and everything you do is wrong.
Yeah, I've used the example of when if you talk about the shirt, like if I said that shirt looks good on you, then it meant the other ones that he had didn't.
Didn't.
So
Yes.
he could turn that into an insult and that
Yes.
I've never been attracted to him, you know,
Exactly.
all because I said I like your shirt.
Yes. They can spiral very
Yeah,
quickly. Yeah. And they're very good at making everything your fault.
everything.
Yeah.
So to them, it's time to stonewall you. They're gonna find a way to do it. They're gonna find a reason to stonewall you. It's in the cycle. It's time to do it. So you might just look wrong and they get to stonewall you now.
Or here's something, you might wear the wrong thing.
Yeah.
You might, like I had one tell me, this is very personal, but why are you wearing those underwear? I'm like, what? They're underwear. They're just, I pulled them out of my drawer. I didn't pick, I just pulled them out. Well, why are you wearing those? Something that simple.
You can't make this
It's
stuff up.
normal. No, no. And it started the whole, that started the whole cycle.
Okay. So
What pair of
this,
underwear I picked out to wear
yeah. So that started a 2 week not speaking to you or
cycle.
whatever your
Yes.
person did. What's their
Yes.
favorite choice of punishment?
Yeah.
Um, so this segues us into what I have felt. And I know well, what has been hitting me ever since the last video that we made, the last time that we were here talking to you, what's been hitting me is, so now what? What do you do?
Right.
We've been telling you about, we told you about gaslighting, and we talked a little bit about manipulation. We talked about stonewalling. And the reason, right, Jen, was that
Right.
all of these things keep you so distracted and your focus so much on that other person that it's hard to
Yes.
fulfill your purpose and your calling.
You do everything in your power to keep that cycle from coming again.
Oh
You
man.
try.
Because
You walk on eggshells. I mean, you lose yourself because you're so busy trying to make sure you don't trigger anything in them. That's you spend your entire day on making sure that you don't trigger a cycle and you don't even know you're doing
you
it.
don't know you're doing it. Your brain back here somewhere is
It's been
doing it.
trained. It's been trained.
It's been trained. And also, our brains, that's what our brains do is try to
Yes.
keep us from discomfort.
Right.
Always, they keep us, our brains keep us from doing things that are going to cause
We
us
don't want to be
discomfort.
uncomfortable.
Mm-mm.
Yes, we
So,
do.
so you're right. Somewhere back here, we know all of these things to do and not to do. And even if you're going along with your day and you're at work or you're taking
Mhm.
care of kids at home or whatever you're doing, you know what to do and what not to do to keep,
Right.
to try to
You
keep
try.
what,
'Cause you'll never do it.
no,
You'll never do
never.
it. But here's another thing I learned is that someone else may trigger it in them and they're going to take it out on
Take it
you.
out on you.
So,
Oh, huge.
yeah, they could encounter somebody at the store that looked at them wrong, made them feel inferior in some way, and they're going to come home and take it out on you.
You're the easy one to take it out on.
Mhm.
Huge
Yeah. So it
point.
may not be anything you even
You're
did or
just
said or
there.
nothing. You're just there.
And honestly, I do think that that was a lot of the case in my marriage.
Mine too.
I was
But
just there.
it took a long time to realize
Oh,
that it wasn't just me, that other people were triggering him too.
yeah. And so, speaking of, that's also going to segue me into what I've been feeling like we needed to talk about next,
Mhm.
which is then what? So, Jen just said it took her a long time to realize other people were triggering it. It took me a long time to even realize, and I was younger, but I want to say, I was immediately unhappy in the marriage, immediately. I mean, I realized that I made a huge mistake
Mhm.
very quickly. Um, but within 2 years, but I didn't want to get a divorce because I got married in front of God, right?
Absolutely. You take that seriously.
Yes. And within 2 years, we had a kid. And so
Yes.
then now I'm saying
Make
married
her
for
keep.
God and the kid. I think that I'm,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
and so then life is just happening, and I'm married, but I'm married to this person who is very rarely nice to me.
Mhm.
And so I'm just trying to maneuver, and I'm trying not to bring on this stonewalling and and all of the things.
Mhm.
I'm trying to figure that out, how what I can do, what we can do, you know. And one day, so I, I'm I'm guessing that I'd probably been married. Um, I don't know. It was between 5 and 10 years, somewhere in there. I'm not really sure, but I feel like a change happened around 10 years. One of my friends said to me, and listen, this was back way before any talk of narcissism or toxic relationships or anything, because believe me, I Googled it. I tried to Google his symptoms, and I all I could find was passive aggressive
Yeah.
and bipolar.
They are passive
I
aggressive most
know,
of the
and
time. So
bipolar. I mean, those are symptoms
they
of
are.
narcissism. They're
They are.
just they're traits
They are.
of narcissism.
Yes.
So, narcissists are codependent. They're addicted to people. Narcissists are manipulators. Narcissists are passive aggressive. Narcissists are stonewallers and gaslighters and all of the things. So, it was just one part. But anyways, like I said, this was way before all of this, before we got flooded with the word codependent and the word narcissist so much that everybody stopped paying attention to them.
Yes.
So my friend that I went to church with, I can remember where we were. I mean, I was sitting in a phone sitting in my car in a gas station parking lot, and she told me. And I can't remember where she heard it, or if she got it while she was praying or reading the Bible or what it was. But she goes, Nikki, we are supposed to be focusing more on God than our husband. She said, God is supposed to be our main focus. And
Number
it was
one.
like for me, a light bulb went off. I had been a Christian since I was 9. We talked about this last time.
Right.
So I wasn't a new Christian,
Right.
but all of a sudden, it was just like, oh my gosh, I've not been focused. I have been thinking that God wants me completely focused on this man
And
to
that's
be a submissive
not.
wife.
That's not true.
It's a lie
It
from the
is a
pits
lie
of
of
hell.
hell.
Uh,
Absolutely, it is.
I mean, and everything changed. Now, it didn't change drastically that day, but
But
I
it
started,
triggered something in your brain.
it triggered something in my brain, and I started to slowly go to God.
Mm.
Instead of for every single emotional need that I needed to be filled as a woman, as a human on this earth, as a wife, as a mom, instead of going to this man and wondering, how can I make you love me the way that I need to be loved?
Mhm.
And him never even attempting to do it.
Right.
I started going to God. And what I've been feeling this last week since we talked last was, now what? What are you telling these women that they need to do? You're telling
Mhm.
them you're in a relationship because we're not telling anybody to get a divorce.
Absolutely not.
We're not telling anybody to leave. We're not telling anybody to stay. We're
No.
telling you that you're distracted and you're not
Yep.
fulfilling your purpose on this earth because you're a
Right.
daughter of the king and you're in the army of God.
Right.
And Jen reminded me one day, she heard it somewhere, and I wish we could give props to where she heard it, but she said one of the fastest ways people fall away from the faith is being yoked to non-believers, whether that's friends. But in my, you know, when I met my ex-husband, he was not a believer.
Um,
He became one when we were dating. That's not
mhm.
equally yoked.
No.
Equally yoked is not finding someone, making them a Christian real quick and getting married.
Right.
Because I was all, I had been a Christian since I was 9.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying time doesn't have anything to do with it. I could meet a new Christian who is on fire for God and the kingdom,
Absolutely.
and then we're equally yoked.
Yeah.
But anyway, my point is that whenever you are married, when you are in a
In a relation.
relationship,
Mhm.
any
You don't
kind of
even have to be
relation,
married.
exactly. And yeah, okay, we'll talk about, well, I almost said something else, but if you're in a relationship with a non-believer, and in my case, I was married to a very, very, very new believer,
Mhm.
um, so much of my focus was on them. And I didn't realize he had a personality disorder, and
Right.
these toxic traits. I just thought that he was hurting and wounded, like we all are.
They are. Yeah. They are wounded in their own way.
So I was totally focused on him.
Mhm.
And what I felt this week was turn your eyes to God. Look straight at him. If you played
Mhm.
basketball, square up.
That's right.
Your shoulders, your knees, your
Yeah.
toes
Yeah.
facing God.
Absolutely.
And you and God be on a one way like this. Like, okay, God, today he said that I'm a stupid idiot. What do you want me to do? How do you want
Mhm.
me to feel about that? Because first
How
of
should I
all,
handle that? Right.
how should I handle it?
Right. And
In
if you know who you are in Jesus, you know that that's not true.
Right.
And you start recognizing lies.
And if the closer that you and God get, the more that
Mhm.
you're in the Word,
Mhm.
the more that you're listening to Him,
Right.
you're gonna realize that in a situation like that, He's only gonna tell you that you're a daughter of the King,
That's
that
right.
you are
And he
not a
loves you.
stupid idiot,
He loves you.
how much He
That
loves you,
you deserve to be treated
how
with
you
kindness and love.
exact exactly.
And the thing about these relationships is they cannot, if they don't love God more than you, they cannot love you the way you need to be loved. So you're never going to be fulfilled in that area unless you and them love God more than you love each other
And put God in the center.
and put God, yes, He has to be both of your focus.
And I understand some people are sitting there going, he's never going to put God in the center of this marriage. He wants his dinner at 6. He wants his laundry. He wants me to have
The
sex with
shirts have to
him.
be pressed and hung a certain way.
He wants me to have sex with him, whether he's spoken to me that day or not.
Yep.
His needs are the center of the marriage. So,
Yes.
so we have people sitting there going, I understand you're telling me this is never going to work if God isn't the center. So what do I do? You put your eyes on God.
And
Period.
He will direct you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He changed me from
Hmm.
that moment. Sitting in a come and go. Some of you might not have a come and goes in your area, but we live in come and go land, which is a gas station.
Yeah.
I'm sitting in a come and go gas station parking lot, and my friend tells me that we have to start putting our focus on God instead of our husbands because our husbands are not fulfilling anything
Right.
that you're supposed to fulfill in marriage,
Right.
much less loving me like Christ loved the church. We won't even go there.
Right. That's a whole other video.
That's a
Probably
whole
three.
other video. My
Probably
husband's not
three.
fulfilling anything. He's
Yeah.
basically abandoning me.
They just suck it out of you. They just drain you dry till there's nothing left.
hmm So something changed in me that day, and I started look at first. I started peeking, you know,
Yes, me too.
and then I started going to God.
Mhm.
So much so that He started changing me,
Yeah.
and He started growing me, and He started healing me from things that were happening in the relationship. He was already doing a work inside of me.
Yes.
And what was amazing about it, well, and so what my ex-husband was doing, all of those things that he was doing, did not bother me as much as they did before.
They bounce
They
instead of
bounced.
absorb. They bounce off of you.
Jen, I was literally thinking the word bounce, and you said it.
It does. It bounces off of you. And you can almost laugh about it.
You can, if you want to be not be spoken to for 2 weeks, which sometimes I did not want to be
You do.
spoken
Oh, yeah, I
to.
did too. And that, yeah. But you're like, okay, so I know I have 2 weeks off. I have two
Exactly.
weeks off.
Exactly. Know that we can laugh about it now because we God has completely transformed us.
Mhm.
We have so much peace and joy, but we know it's not funny.
It's definitely not funny when you're in it. You think you're crazy. You think there's something wrong with you. You think you're not good enough. The list goes on and on and on.
On and on. And then, you know, they are making you feel that way. And then this other voice comes in your head and makes you start thinking that maybe it's true that you're not good enough and that nobody else will ever love you and you might as well stay with him.
Yeah. Well, and you start hearing that you made a commitment and you're not supposed to get divorced.
God
And
hates divorce.
yeah,
So
mm,
he's going to be mad at you if you
yeah,
get one.
yeah.
That's a voice we hear.
And you'll be
Um,
shunned and shamed for the rest of your life.
oh yeah.
Like the Scarlet Letter.
Yeah.
You know,
The
that's
Scarlet,
not true.
the
It's not
deed.
true.
No, it's not. None of it's true. It's all a lie.
It is.
And like I said, we're not telling anyone to get a divorce, but
No,
I am absolutely telling you to lock your eyes on God.
absolutely.
That's what everyone has to do.
Yeah,
Everyone in this
yeah,
world, whether you're in a toxic relationship or not. We we are in the army and we need to be focused on him and we need to be hearing what he wants us to do and we need to be obeying. Period.
yeah. So I want to throw in, we actually, our sermon at church had something to do with this. It wasn't the same topic, but he gave steps. It was how to overcome fear of man, which is a little bit where this comes from.
Uh
And
it
it's to
does.
focus on God. And you have to do that. So he said the first step is to worship, worship God. And it goes back to the music we talked about. Change your music, play worship music all the time. Sing it in your car.
Absolutely.
Listen to worship music. And the second thing he said was be true to your convictions, not your feelings, which we as codependents usually focus on our feelings
Oh
and
yeah.
live off of our feelings. But you need to be true to your convictions and you need to go to God about your convictions.
Yes.
And then he said, pray. God will help you because he will. He promises.
Absolutely.
You ask, he will help you. And then he said, focus on what God is doing now.
Yes.
Focus on what he's doing
What
because
he's doing.
he's always doing something.
Yeah. There's
Always.
something that you can be thankful for
Yes.
even while this person is treating you
Yes.
horribly.
Yes. And the other, he said, remember God is with you. Oh, lead a righteous life, which is what we were talking about, being obedient.
Yes.
And the
And
only way you know that is getting in his word, because you don't know what he's asking you to do if you're
true.
not reading his word. And then he said, remember God is with you. He promises to be with you.
Yes. And all of those things you can do on your own. It doesn't
Yes.
take,
Every day,
yes, yes, every day.
constantly. Yeah.
It doesn't take your husband or your significant other or your best friend or whoever
No,
to agree to do those things with you to start doing them.
no. That's
That's
just a
between you
decision
and
you
God.
make. Yeah.
And your life will change. I am not telling you that the toxic person in your life is going to change when you start putting your eyes on God. I'm telling you, God's going to start with you. He's going to
It
start
changes.
changing
It
you.
changes here and here and
And
even here in your mouth.
and
What you say.
yes, absolutely. Everything, everything. I mean, he
Mhm.
starts with your heart
He
and
does.
everything changes after that
Yeah,
for the better.
absolutely.
But that is between you and God, and he will do that work and change in you and change around you what needs to be changed for the better, no matter what that is. But it starts with you putting your focus on him rather than another human.
Yeah, which is what we tend to do as, I hate we keep using the words, but that's what they are. Codependents
Mhm.
need they use other humans to fill their emotional need. And
Let's
that's
let's uh let's come back and talk about
yeah,
codependency,
yeah.
because I think that it is a bigger problem than we know, because not everybody knows exactly what it is or what to do about it.
It's not what it sounds like.
No, it's not.
Because when I first was told that I might be codependent, I was like, are you kidding me? I'm very independent.
Independent.
I am not codependent on anybody. And then it
Or
was like, when I figured out what it really was, when I learned what it was, I was like, I'm absolutely codependent.
oh yeah,
100%
was.
was. Yes, thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
don't want to go back to that.
No. And
Yeah.
and I thought that it had something to do with, now this was a long time ago, but I thought it had something to do with substance abuse and
Oh,
them
yeah.
being dependent. I don't know. I can't explain what I thought, but I thought that it had, that we were, anyway, I thought wrong about it. Um,
Oh,
I
I did too.
let's come back and talk about that, but I also, and in the next video, um, well, I'll just tie it in. I'll tie it in the next time that we talk. And
Yes.
but that was the main thing, was that after everything that we talked about last time, what to do next is not necessary. Don't ever point out to them that they're a narcissist or a
No,
toxic person. That never
no,
goes well,
no,
because they do not believe that they are.
no.
So, you don't even need to be, you don't need to go, you're stonewalling me or you're gaslighting me.
Oh, yeah, that will make it worse.
You need to go to God.
Yes,
Period. You keep
absolutely.
your eyes on God. He taught me things about codependency and about narcissism, about narcissistic abuse, and about the symptoms of being narcissistically abused
Yes,
in that one-on-one relationship that he and I had after I switched and started focusing on him instead of my ex. He
yes,
taught me all of those things when they weren't even out here in the world yet.
right.
And later, when they did start coming out into the world and I started learning about them, I was like,
That's what it was. That's
this already. Like he would just put those feelings and those thoughts in me, like, do this. When he does that, do this, or don't do that, you know,
Mhm.
and not
He'll teach you.
conniving. It's things that
No.
align with fruit of the spirit, which will be another video.
Yes.
But he taught me he taught me how to not be addicted to my ex-husband, who was my spouse at the time. So, and to
It's
not be emotionally destroyed when he wasn't giving me what I
yeah,
need.
yeah, because it does emotionally destroy you if you let it.
Hmm.
Yeah, and he doesn't want that for us.
No,
So he
no,
gives us
he,
weapons.
yes,
They are weapons to defend ourselves.
absolutely.
Yeah.
He doesn't want that for us because what he wants for us is to fulfill our calling, which is what? Our calling is to obey,
It is to obey.
period.
Simple. Just obey what he says. And
And we
whatever it
can't
is,
obey when we're distracted.
no. And it can be something so small.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to start praying every day. You know, a prayer changes things.
Well, that will definitely start to get your focus back in the right
It does.
direction.
The more you talk to him, the closer, just like any relationship, the more time you put into it, the closer you'll be.
Yes.
And he desires that. He waits. He's eager for you to come
He's
to him
right
and say,
there waiting.
he's so eager for you to come.
He's not like a human. He's not stonewalling you because you haven't been talking to him.
No.
He's right there waiting for you to just turn
Waiting.
around and start talking
And
to him.
he's such a gentleman that he's waiting quietly and patiently for you. So
Oh,
good stuff.
okay. Thank you guys.
Yes, thanks again for joining us. We have so much more to talk about,
So much more.
a
We
little
could
bit at a
honestly
time.
talk every day.
Yeah,
So good to see you, Jen, and talk to you.
you
You're
too.
one of my favorite people because I get to just talk about my love for God and you don't act like I'm crazy.
Ditto. We love you guys.
Yes.
God bless you. And until next time,
God
bye.
bless you. See you next time.
Bye.